game prices are about to change. Now, for the longest time, we've seen games set at a $70 price tag. Some people think that's expensive still. And given how the economy can be at times, that's understandable. Gamers have been worried for quite a while that game prices are going to go up. Devs and the game companies involved with producing the games actually want game prices to go up. This was kind of reignited when it was leaked that GTA 6 was going to have a $100 price tag. Now, they've already started doing that with certain games by giving you early access and some other kind of DLC stuff, I guess you could say, for like $100, $110. But the actual base game has still been set at $70. Nintendo is about to blow that out of the water. So Nintendo had the Nintendo Direct today to advertise and put out their Switch 2 along with some of the games coming out for it on release or a little bit later. And what we noticed is that one of their games, Mario Kart World, was $80. Now, this is the first game to that I can recall to make that jump from 70 to 80 as a base game. Usually, if it's a higher price, there's usually something else involved, like I said, early access, some DLC, whatever. But no, this is the base game, $79.99 MSRP. Over on Forbes, Paul Tassi wrote an article talking about Nintendo Switch 2 and what Nintendo is currently doing. It was just announced that the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 will be $449 with the $499 Mario Kart World bundle, probably $50 more than most people expected and $150 more than the original Switch 8 years ago. Sure, inflation, but now Nintendo may have gone too far even for devoted fans. Yeah, there's going to be fans that are going to be upset about this. But look, this was coming. There's been rumors about this. You guys have to be aware as gamers this was going to happen. Unfortunately, it is what it is. I see both sides of it. Yes, gaming can be very expensive, especially if you are playing on a PC. The PCs alone are crazy expensive. The requirements that these games are starting to have are crazy high, so you got to have a high-end rig. Console gaming is the cheaper option, but the downside is you still have to buy the games. And so the games themselves being $80 now and potentially higher, because here's the thing. Those companies that are giving you the 3-day access or the DLC for the extra $100 or $110, that's not going to stop because they're able to raise the base price $10. No. What that will probably do instead is they will bump those prices for the 3-day access or the DLC stuff up $10 more as well. That range will slide. So it's just things are just going to get more and more expensive. The only way this is going to change, something has to change. Just like with the housing market, man, the prices have fucking doubled, and who can afford it, right? I mean, the house I'm living in now, we bought 18 years ago for $580,000. Right now, it's valued at almost $1 million. I mean, it's essentially doubled. There's no way we could afford this house now if we were to buy it now. Same thing is true with video games. Video games themselves are getting more and more expensive. Now, they haven't doubled, obviously. If it was up to the gaming companies, they probably would have. But the amount of money that they're going to want for games, most of your average people who play video games cannot keep up with it. The wages have not kept up with the increasing cost of living throughout most of the modern world. And housing is just one of those examples I want to use. I mean, there's plenty of other areas where costs have gone up, and guess what? The amount of money people have to buy games gets smaller and smaller and smaller because of all this other fucking shit that gets so fucking expensive. But Nintendo's setting it at 80, and here's the problem: everybody else will follow suit. The only way this is going to change is if people stop buying games. If they really can't afford this price tag, like they say they can't, then prices will cause sales to go down. There's got to be some sort of middle ground here. I don't know what it is. I really don't, because I think game companies are spending way too much money on making these games. The price tag on these games, as far as how much it takes to develop the game, has just gone up and up and up and up, and they have to stop. They're getting way too expensive. They need to find different ways of making these games without them being so bloody expensive. Some of it could just be bloat. I mean, Ubisoft has over 19,000 employees, at least right now. That's probably going to change with what's happened with Tencent. Why do you need so many flipping employees? There's other companies that make great games that come out with an extremely great game. Stellar Blade, Black Myth Wukong, for example, that I can promise you have nowhere near 19,000 employees. While Mario Kart is currently being listed for $80 on Nintendo's website, another storefront says $80 for digital, $90 for the physical. So it can go up even more. It looks like that's a $10 bump on top of that in some or all regions. Though weirdly, the new Donkey Kong Bonanza is listed at $70, meaning that this might vary game to game, which would be highly unusual. Now, in the old days, growing up on the Nintendo 64 era, Nintendo era, Super Nintendo era, you would have games that some would cost more than others. And we still have that a little bit today on Steam. But most of the time, it's consistent across the board, no matter how big or how small or how good a game may or may not be. Now, when games went to $70, you had the same problem. Gamers grumbled, they complained, but eventually they got used to the $70 larger scale video games at the start of the PS5 and Xbox Series X in 2020. Is that when it bumped up? No. No, I swear it's been longer than that. I swear it's been longer than 5 years that these games have been at $70, but maybe I'm wrong. So growing up, $60 seemed to be the standard, but okay. I mean, we'll see what's going to happen. You guys need to be ready for this. So if you don't like this, you need to vote with your wallet. I mean, that's the simplest answer. But they know the vast majority of these gamers will still fork out this money and pay $80 or $90 for a video game. They know they will. So that's why they made the change. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I know a lot of people aren't going to be happy about this, but if you like the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content. I do videos and live streams. I'd love to see you guys there, and I'll talk to you next time.